Hey there, it's Linda, hopping on to show you a little bit about your back office and the changes that have been made since the upgrade. Now, one of the things that you've probably been using and enjoying in the last while is the sign on. So, back in the day, we had to remember this random number, which was your wellness advocate number, and now it is your email. So, that's been a really positive change. So, I just want to remind everyone of that. It's all good and things are definitely improving. However, sometimes it's a little bit challenging while you go through the transition of getting ready and used to a new system. But do know that this has already been rolled out and piloted in the US. And so they've ironed out a lot of kinks there. But just as a reminder, with any system implementation, there are going to be sometimes problems that come up. And really what you'll want to do is make sure that you're proactive and that you chat in, give them feedback, ask them questions, let them know if you notice anything weird or odd. Just because, like I said, with any system this has been a huge implementation. I know I've been involved in a lot of system implementations, and many of you have probably as well, and so you know how it goes, right? The key in the first stages of something rolling out is just keeping those lines of communication open and just making sure that it's working well for you. So the focus of this session is to show you your back office and show you the changes. So once you do it a couple of times, you kind of get it, but it's just a little bit quirky because the way it has been set up is very different than how it was, in that, this is typically the screen you'll see when you log in. So I'm hoping you guys can see that share. Now I'm just going to refresh the share just to make sure you're seeing the right page. So I'm just going to refresh it and share it. So this is the page that you'll log into and see. You're just going to look a little bit different because I'm building a business and you may not be. But what you'll want to pay attention to is this button here in the upper left-hand corner, okay? This is how you get to your shop, okay? So I'm just going to click on that. That's going to take you to what feels like a really different platform. And this is where you're going to see some of the upgrades and the changes, okay? So this says that it doesn't see what I'm looking for. So there you go. So a little bit of a quirk there, but it got to the landing page okay. So I'm going to point out a couple of different things. So you're going to notice on the top here a shop tab. And you'll notice that if you scroll down, you can search by topic, similar to what we did in the last system, except these used to be along the top. Now they're along the bottom. So you'll see that you can look by single oils, blends. The NHP products are basically the products that have been approved by Health Canada, and they're just labeled differently for Canadians, like especially clinics that sell the oils for resale. Deep Blue products, On Guard products, and ZenJust products. You can look at personal care, supplements, and you'll see that there are more and more things becoming available in Canada as Health Canada starts to approve them. So that's really exciting. You'll notice that accessories are now available in Canada. So you'll see the diffusers and the storage. You'll also see some enrollment options here. And there's always a special order section. So if you're never certain about what that monthly promo is, you can go to this section and it's going to tell you what's available. But it's a great way to find sale items here. So that's your shop. Our story is just tons of information. So if you're ever wanting to review product safety or product information or quality control, you can go ahead and look here. Discover are all the different avenues for learning more. And you'll see that there's some brochures and some other resources there. Okay. And I'm not sure if everyone will see the resources, so I'm just going to leave that for now. But just take a look at the tabs that you see along the top here. So the next thing I want to point out are the little tabs at the bottom where it says pick a warehouse. You'll see that the Canada warehouse is highlighted. Now, basically what's that's saying is that I have a Canadian order most likely set up. So I have a loyalty reward program, obviously. So if you look over here in the top right-hand corner, you'll see my shopping bag. And it looks like there's 2 items in that shopping bag. Now, let's just go back to the shop tag, and I'm going to just move my cursor down, and then I'm going to click on US, and you'll see what happens here. Okay, so it's always going to give you a warning message. So changing from Canada to the US warehouse. So if you choose to continue, basically the items that are in your Canadian cart will be deleted, okay, or not saved if you added something. So I'm just going to say continue, and we'll see pops up. So you'll notice that I scroll down to the bottom. I'm going to go back to the shop and see if it moved me over. So it did. It moved me over to the US cart. You'll see that it's highlighted here. So if I go over and click on the shopping bag, you'll notice that I don't have any items in my US shopping cart. So let's say I go ahead and click on that bag and then shop now. So I want to buy a couple of things from the US. What'll happen is you'll see this window pop up over here. If you're on your phone, it'll take up the whole screen. But you'll see that you've got a US order, but if you look below, you'll see that there is already a Canadian order set up, okay? And so just be aware of that. And it shows what your ship date is. So I'm set to ship on the 13th. Now you can change that ship date at any time, okay? And so I'm not gonna worry about that right now. I'm just gonna take a look at the US items. So let's see. I'm going to, the 2 items that I have in the US cart right now, it looks like my membership's up for renewal. So basically they just put the renewal fee and my free peppermint in my cart. So I'm just gonna look for some skin stuff. So there's lots of different ways to find products. You can just type in a word, or you can look under the categories like I showed you before. So I love their skincare kit. So I'm just gonna click on that right now. And you'll see some options to ordering down here. You can get the whole kit just for fun. I'm just gonna pop the whole kit into my bag, okay? And so what you'll notice is that I now have 3 items in my US shopping cart, okay? So it's added my skincare, my membership, and now my peppermint appear in my US cart. So I'm just gonna click review order and see where that takes me. Okay, so here's where you'll get a message. So how would you like to purchase these items? So because I've had a Canadian order set up, it's kind of giving me a reminder, okay, so remember you've got a Canadian order. Do you want to create a new US order? So it's okay to have 2 LRP orders at any point in time, but what you'll want to make sure that you do is you then, once you've created your new US order, you only have to ship once a month, you go back then after you've ordered and go delete your Canadian order, okay? It's not gonna let you delete first and then set up a US order. So I'm just gonna create my new loyalty reward order, and generally just gonna pick a date. Sometimes it looks like you can't select them if they're not highlighted in black, but I'm just gonna pick the 6th and see, it lets me, okay? And it's just a reminder here that if you order before the 15th of the month, you get that free product of the month. So it's rosemary this month, which is fantastic for a lot of different things: hair growth, adrenal health, stress, so many things. I love rosemary. Great for cooking too. So I'm gonna just click that, save date, and save. So you'll notice that it's popped me into my cart and I can see the items that I just mentioned. Now I have a ton of points built up. I think I just used a chunk. So I've got 516 points. So that's like, think about that. That's $500, you guys. This is a really generous program. If you haven't explored the loyalty reward program yet, I would highly recommend that you really consider redirecting where you spend your money. Because if you get really strategic, you can save tons of money in the long run. So anyways, if you want to use your points, you would just simply click on the drop down and then pick the points and it would apply it, and then you would get that product for free. So as you can see now, I would get this entire skincare kit free with my points. Okay, you have to make sure that when you're shipping that you have at least 1 point value on your order. So let's say I didn't have, like right here, I don't have any point values for these 2 items. It may not let me ship with, if I use all my points on this kit, I might have to have a small item in there with at least 1 PV to ship. Hope that makes sense. All right, so basically then you'll just, you can either proceed to checkout today, and if you do that, don't worry, it's not gonna ship again on the 6th, right? It's just gonna count this as your monthly order. Or you can just say, you know what, I'm just gonna save and process on the 6th. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna save and process it on the 6th. Okay, so actually, one little tip here too. If there's a promo on, there's often a promo code related to it. And so in the old days, sometimes you order the promo items, but then you wouldn't necessarily see the other one pop into your cart, the freebie into your cart, until you started clicking forward. But with this new system, if you put the promo code in up here and apply it, it will apply those savings right away. I don't have code, so it's giving me an error message. All right, so I'm gonna make sure, I'm gonna just scroll down here, and I'm just gonna make sure I stop my share and save it again, just in case you're not seeing what I see. Okay, so hopefully you're seeing what I see. So in here, basically I'm going to pick an address. So I've got someone, I had sent a gift out to someone, so I'm just gonna change it back to my own address. And I'm going to make sure that the delivery is correct here. And always remember, you guys, when you're on the loyalty reward program, you get your shipping points back in points and point value. I'm going to make sure my payment method is right. You can even send an email notification now on where your delivery is, when it's arriving. So that's kind of cool. You can opt into that if you click this box here. Okay, and it's going to send it to your phone, but that's totally optional. And then you would simply just apply. Oh, I don't have a credit card, so it's not letting me save. So I'm just gonna leave that for now, but I would normally just click and save here and it would allow me to save it. You know what, I might just pick one if there's one in here. I'm just gonna pop one in there just so it lets me. Let's see if it does. Okay. And I'm just going to then save and process on September 6th, on the Friday. Okay, so now technically I have 2 orders set up, right? Because I still had that little Canadian order, and then I had a US order. I just created a new US order. So you'll see here I got the free rosemary. I'm gonna get the free rosemary when it delivers on the Friday. So I'm gonna go change this. I can change it. I can change your mind up until like the day before, so don't worry about that. But I'm gonna go back to the shop here, and I'm going to go to US, and just to make sure there's nothing in there. Okay, so again, reminder, change from US to Canadian warehouse. I'm going to click continue. I'm going to stop the share again just to make sure you're seeing what I'm seeing, because sometimes it doesn't follow. It's kind of weird. Okay, so I'm back here in Canada. Okay, I hope you can see. I'm going to share again, just in case. Okay, I'm going to stop the share, and I'm going to just start it again. Now, you might get some quirky messaging. Again, if you're ever frustrated, just call in the chat line and they can do it for you on the phone. They're just really, really great and helpful, especially during this time of integration. So there's live chat still over here on the left, and you'll notice that I still do have my 2 items in my shopping cart, so I'm going to want to cancel that. Okay, so are you sure? Yes, because I have my US order set up, and I do not want 2 LRP orders shipping this month. I just don't. Some people do, and sometimes I do order from the USA and Canada, but I'm not going to this month. And then you'll notice my Canada order is done, and you'll see that you've got my US. If you just scroll down, you can see the US order right underneath. So you'll see what is set up. So I still have to delete this. It looks like it didn't delete. Update products. Sometimes you have to refresh it to see the change. There you go. I hope you're seeing what I'm seeing. I'm just going to delete the products out. Okay. Okay, you get the idea. So basically, I'm going to delete all the products in the Canadian cart so that I only have 1 order set to ship this month. Okay, so that is how it works. Now you can head back to your main page, your account, by clicking on your account here. So for those of you who are doing doTerra as a business, you can definitely go in and take a look at your back office that way. But if you're a customer, really the shop tab is where you're going to spend most of your time. And yeah, and you can find, except you might find a lot of information also about the product specifically under some of these other tabs here. So if you have any problems, you guys, I'm happy to hop on and do a screen share with you to walk you through it, especially for your first order this month, because it can get confusing. But hopefully that helped. Leave your questions below, and we will chat with you soon. Bye, guys.